In this video, I'm going to open Visual Studio for the first time. And when you open it, this is what you will see, Visual Studio Community 2015 edition. And sometimes you will see this, or sometimes, depending on your setting, like you will see different layout. So usually you will see something like this. So in terms of user interface, this is something you already know. Okay, up here it has file, edit, view, debug, team, tools, test, analyze, and window. So even though you don't fully understand what it is, okay, a few things that I want you to kind of know is, okay, file, okay, there's new and open and save all. Obviously those are very important. And another area that I want you to kind of take a look at is view. So here, again, you don't have to know every single element for now, but here, okay, what we have here is, okay, it said start page, output, and solution explorer. And even on the output, there's output, error list, and find symbol results. Okay, again, even though you don't know what they are, but you probably kind of understand there's linkage between the Solution Explorer and View Solution Explorer. Okay, so you can get rid of it. Okay, oh, where's my Solution Explorer? You can go to View and click Solution Explorer, and you will have Solution Explorer. So depending on your style of coding, some people might like to utilize all the space. So they probably want to have this like start page only, okay? Or sometimes people want to have that extra information about the project. Then people will open Solution Explorer and like output, error list, etc. Okay? So here, if you look at this part, there's a Solution Explorer, Team Explorer, Server Explorer, SQL Server Object Explorer. Even though you are not going to use them now, but obviously they are grouped as one group. Meaning, if you select Team Explorer, okay, so there's Team Explorer. Basically, this one is shared the same space. So Team Explorer here and Solution Explorer. Okay. And same thing here, view, okay, error list, output, start page. They're right over here, and they can share the area. Output and error list share the same window. All right, so you can start new project by clicking here, or go to File, New, New, and New Project. Okay. For now, I'm just going to click here, New Project. So now we're dealing with C++. So if you go to this new project window, there's installed. Okay, so I'll go to template, Visual C++, and here we are going to choose Win32 and Win32 console application and project. Well, basically we're going to use console application for now. Okay, so sometimes if you didn't add C++ when you install the software, this one actually doesn't show you Win32 console application. Instead, it will kind of say you have to add this element. Then if you double click on it, it will install that component. Okay, so luckily we have this Win32 console application. Difference between console and project. Okay, if you take a look at it, you will see this little kind of window. Okay, so if you choose Win32 project, you will create a project that will produce something like this window as an output. Win32 console application. Okay, this is console application. As you can see, it will generate, or it will produce the command line window. Okay, and then you will get your result using command line window. Okay. So for now, we're dealing with simple stuff. So we're going to stick with Win32 console application. Win32 project, that's something you can choose. Well, maybe later I'm going to show you the difference, but for now, choose Win32 console application. And then here, down here, you can name it, okay? So console application 1, instead of that, you can choose whatever name you want. And this is location where your file will be saved. More precisely, not file actually, it will create a project folder. So under this one, document, Visual Studio 2015, and project, and here it will create the project folder using the name, like this name. Okay, and so here, try not to select this create directory for solution and add source control. Again, we're dealing with something simple at this point. If you actually select it, it will create the directory for solution, and then your the project folder structure will be very complicated. So at this point, let's try to keep it simple, and let's just use a Win32 console application without directory for solution. And for now, I'll just name it as like a CPP1 or something, some simple name. Okay, and I'm going to get to explain why. But later on, if you want to execute your file, you have to type your file name. So in that case, the simpler name is more convenient. So CPP1 and OK. Okay. So now it opens Win32 application wizard CPP1. Okay, and there are the current project setting console application. That is right. Click finish from any window to accept the current setting. Okay, this is good, but don't just click on finish yet. Okay, don't just click finish, but go to next. Okay, the reason why is I want to check again. Okay, application type, console application. Okay, here additional options. I want you to choose empty project. Okay, so here pre-compiler header or SDL checks. These are basically some additional feature you can have. So basically, this is good to have, like great feature to add more convenience to your development environment. But at this point, again, we are dealing with very simple application or program. So let's just click empty project. Okay, then this feature get disabled, and these features get disabled as well. So console application and empty project. This one, it really doesn't make much difference. Okay, security development lifecycle. Okay, SDL. Like you can enable it, but again, like we're dealing with very simple stuff, so it doesn't make much difference even though you unselect it. And now click finish. So here, now I have the solution explorer, and under solution CPP1, like one project, and CPP1 references, I have this kind of folder like things. And then output here, I don't have anything here actually. Okay, so we actually chose empty project, so I don't have anything. So that's why I don't have anything here. So these here, okay, under solution, okay, it looks like folder, but they're not really folders. They're filters. So depending on what types of file you have inside of this project folder, okay, Visual Studio automatically sort them under certain file type and kind of filter them. So again, I can actually go here and go to Documents and Visual Studio 2015. I had this project folder. Now I have this CPP1 folder created. Okay. Now, as you can see, I really don't have these folders here. So they are basically filters. Okay. And if I have some important files here, they actually sort them in this filter system. Okay. So anyways, at this point here, if you take a look at it, Okay, Microsoft Visual Studio Solution. This file is responsible for this structure, that database file, and VC++ project, and project filters file. Okay. So later on, if you want to open this file, you can click on this BC Visual Studio project file. All right. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to source file, okay, and right click and add new item. Again, go to source, select source file, right click, add new item. And now we can actually add a new item. So we're doing C++, and now we have choices. We have choice of choosing C++ file with file extension CPP, or header file with the file extension .h. At this point, header, we're going to talk about that in probably next video. But for now, let's choose C++ file. Okay? And then here, you can use source.cpp, or I usually use the name main. I'm going to explain why in a moment. So I'm going to choose main.cpp and C++ file and add. And now we just created this main.cpp file. Okay? And here you can type your code. So for this one, I'm going to show you the very first programming with C++. So you can type along with me, or you can just take a look at what I'm doing. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'll just type like int integer, and I'm going to name my function as main, and inside of parentheses I'm going to type a few parameters. For now, I'm going to say int argument c. We'll talk about this like over and over again later, so you don't have to worry too much about it. Okay. And then I'm going to use char star argument value box bracket and curly braces and return 0. So this could be one of the simplest C++ programming. Okay, so in terms of syntax here, okay, so we call this one as the main is function. Okay, so the reason why I name my CPP file as main is because I'm going to use main function for this CPP file. Okay, and this is function type. If you look at if you see int means integer. Okay, meaning this function, okay, will return, okay, this integer value. Okay, again, we're going to talk about this again later, so you don't have to worry too much about understanding this structure. But for now, in terms of function, you can understand this is function type. Okay, whether it's going to return something. Okay, this is function name. It can be arbitrary name. You can choose whatever name you want. And this is parameters. Parameters, basically, you can choose. You can have more than one parameter, and these are inputs for this function. And inside of curly braces, we say this is statement. You can have another function or expression or other types of code. And return is used because this function, once this function get executed, it will return some sort of value. It will give you an output, okay, in integer value. Okay, so right now, I mean, we don't have any input, so technically, these guys can be ignored. Okay, so int main. Okay, we don't have any parameter, but it will return something. Okay. Oh, actually, before that, what I want to do is, whenever you have this function, okay, you can click this local window debugger. Okay, and this project is out of date. Okay, meaning, technically you don't have any like exe file, so it will try to find that, and it doesn't have one, or it doesn't match it with the current programming, so it will give you this types of message, and it will ask you, would you like to build it? Yes. And now it will say build started project cpp1 main.cpp. This file is now like a built. Okay. Oh, it actually gives something, and that window got closed. And here it said the program cpp.exe has existed with code 0. Basically 0 means it will return this value like 0. So if you change this value to something else like 8, okay, and now the previous build is like not exactly the same as this one. That's why it will ask, this project is out of date, would you like to build it? Yes. And you can guess, right? So now it has this message, the program cpp1.exe has existed with code 8 because we have this guy. Okay. So here again, we do not have any input. Okay. So you can actually just ignore that. We don't have any input, and let's say we'll just return something like 12. As long as it is an integer, it will be able to return some value. So it will have existed with code 12. Okay. And it can be some other value, but okay, this is int, so you have to return integer value. What if I put like a 12.5? Okay, let's see what's going to happen. Okay, so here actually the program cpp1.exe has existed with code 12. That's kind of interesting, right? We actually try to return 12.5. Okay, so now I'm going to go to view and open error list. Okay, then here it gives me an information, return conversion from double to int, possible loss of data. So this is warning. Okay, so it still returns something. Okay, but what happened was 12.5 is a double. Okay, this is a different data type. Okay, which can contain some of the fraction of the value. Okay, so we basically said we are going to return integer, but this one is not an integer. This one is in double. So there was this conversion from this double value to integer value. So that's why we got this 12 as our return value. But here what happened was there was this loss of data because our data was 12.5, not 12. But this program actually ignored that and returned 12. Okay. So let's actually do something else. Okay. If you don't have int, or actually now, like I'll just erase it return value, and let's try to debug this. Then you will say, oh, cpp1.exe has existed with code 0. Okay, so here, if you don't have any return, okay, it automatically return 0. Okay, but again, like return A. Okay, let's see what's going to happen. Okay, something's wrong with this, like the red line underneath of A, error list. Identifier A is undefined. We don't know what A is, and A undeclared identifier. So anyways, whenever you see this red line, that means something wrong. Okay, and now what I'm going to do, okay, I'll actually erase this. Okay, instead of int, you will see something like void. Okay, so void basically means, okay, it's not going to return anything. Okay, so now, okay, has existed with code 0. So basically, there's nothing got returned, and this is void. Okay, so you will sometimes see this void. Okay. But anyways, the most common, the simplest form of programming in C++ will be something like this: int main, integer argc, and char star argv, something like this. And a few more things. Okay, here source file, Okay, whenever you debug, it will try to find some CPP file under or attach it to this filtered by the source files. Okay, so we'll talk about that later, but now whenever we debug this one, okay, since this one is under source files and Visual Studio understand, oh, this is something I have to debug and build. Okay, so it will build this CPP1 file. And command line window, when you click on this, okay, it actually opens that command line window, but what happened is it returns 0, and then computer understand, oh, my job is done, so I don't need command line window anymore. So that's why it closed that command line window. Alright, that's pretty much it for this video.